best. I'm here in Oakland, California, having a great time, hanging out with one of my good friends and enjoying the Oakland vibe down here at London Square. However, the conversation we're about to have today is not one to be taken lightly, but it's one that you should actually really give it some consideration and think about for yourself. Today's topic, Babylon is falling. That's today's topic. You're probably asking, how do you tie this all in to Freemasonry? Well, it's very simple. It's not complicated at all. It's not complicated at all. Greetings, everybody. I hope that you are going to enjoy this conversation regarding this particular topic, because I believe that is one that needs to be had. I'm willing to talk about every and anything that would enlighten, that would help people, that's going to benefit them along this journey in life. I'm not one to say that I'm better than anybody else or I'm perfect or anything like that, but I believe that people come around and be in your life for a reason and a season. And so with that being said, I don't have a lot of friends. When I say friends, I take that word very seriously. So when I talk about Babylon is falling, I'm talking about those individuals, be it Masons or Eastern Stars, who have taken a solemn oath and obligation, but yet refuse to, or don't take it seriously enough to consider the ramifications for which they said they would obligate themselves to. So therefore, a lot of things are missing, have been missing, and Freemasonry itself is deteriorating from within inside of itself. Babylon is falling. And I say that based upon the fact that as individuals continue to seek membership into Freemasonry, and we have allowed individuals to come in and have a seat at the table and not respect the craft. We've allowed individuals to come in and have a seat at the table and tear the craft apart. I mean, literally, tear it up. And then we often wonder why the society of Freemasonry is falling. The principle, concept, and structure of Freemasonry, when you go look at its foundation, from its conception, not the conception of the Grand Lodge of England. Let's go far beyond that, because you have to realize the Grand Lodge of England, or those Masons who met at that tavern, that bar, they got that concept from someplace. They got that concept from someplace. And you have to realize that in this thing we call Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, it has a strong foundation. One that has been around for hundreds of years, longer than 300 years. So as we expound upon that foundation, as we begin to understand that structure and how strong that foundation is, Freemasonry itself becomes a better place. It really does. But with the way things are today, we'll find that even in Freemasonry, in the Order of the Eastern Star, there are thieves in the temple. There are thieves in the temple. And so as you and I, who take this organization seriously, who really, truly try to engage and participate within the framework of the bylaws and constitution of your own jurisdiction and really take those things seriously, we find that it's very hard sometimes only because those who we have allowed to come in has caused chaos. Freemasonry is going to soon find itself underground. Hear what I'm saying? I said Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star and any of these so-called secret organizations are going to find themselves underground. Let me explain. You see, the fundamental principles of the Freemason Order of the Eastern Stars simply says that you must believe in a supreme being, something higher than yourself. So in order to do that, you have to remove some things out your way. You have to remove your ego out the way. You have to understand that there is a higher power, more so than yourself, that dwells and lives within you. And when you are able to understand that construct, when you are able to take and place that very thing that resides in you and begin to express yourself, whether it be politically or whatever the case may be, you usually find yourself in trouble within the confines and constructs of Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star. At one time, those individuals who were fundamental leadership, be it president or whomever in society, they were the main focus and driving force behind the fundamental values and principles in the structure of this country. Now mind yourself, under no less penalty than having this or that done, if you should reveal any of the secrets of Freemasonry. I hear a lot of people say that Freemasonry has no secrets. Well, why would you take such a penalty if it has no secrets? Why would you say such a thing if it was not true? But you did. She did. And now those very fundamental principles and that obligation that you took is now under siege. We, who are Freemasons, and I said we, that's inclusive, are allowing, truly allowing, the principles of Freemasonry to be threatened. When I say threatened, I mean that, wow, this is special. Y'all can see where I'm at. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. But let's get back to my conversation. We need help. Jesus. Anyway, back to the conversation in regards to the fundamental principle of Freemasonry. Those principles, the foundation of Freemasonry. And I hope you can hear me because I'm walking through a lot of traffic, taking me a little walk downtown Oakland. But those fundamental principles and values of Freemasonry that we so indulge ourselves in is crumbling because we are accepting any and everything. We have torn the doors down and allowing immorality to come in. Now, granted, grown folks are going to make grown folks decisions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about immorality as far as an individual coming in to the chapel, to the lodge, and causing chaos, immorality, just doing any and everything. That's what I'm talking about. You are afraid, terrified of standing up to your Grand Master or your Grand Matron or your worthy mate, and you know that they have screwed up. So what do? You keep your mouth shut. You don't say anything. You know what? And that's the problem. That's what most of us do. Keep our mouths shut. Don't say nothing. When you see people are screwing your organization up, you know. I've had my own personal experience. In dealing with individuals and people within this framework who's totally destroying it. And when I stood up to say something, and I did, they want to put me out. And nobody really wanted to stand with me, knowing that they was wrong. So the fundamental principles is crumbling because nobody within this structure wants to rock the ship. You don't want to stand up for that which is right. If a person has done something wrong in your jurisdiction, they need to be held accountable. Hear me clearly. They need to be held accountable if they did something wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. If a person in someone else's jurisdiction and done something wrong, and you know it, you can just cut ties with it. Leave it alone. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That person has no obligation to your jurisdiction, but you know he or she screwed up. You can just step away and leave them alone. It's okay. It's really okay. But you can't just sit idly by and think that it's okay. It's all right for them to screw over their members, you know. And it's one thing, I got two good friends, and I call them friends, but they're arch enemies. They are. And I need not to call their names because probably when they hear this, they'll already know. And I enjoy their company. I really do. And both of these gentlemen have their issues. Hell, I got my own issues, but I like them both, you know. And I will not speak ill against neither, because neither one of them has caused me any harm or hurt. So I let that be where that's at. But there comes a time when you who are individuals in these various jurisdictions, you're gonna have to take a stand. You're gonna have to call it out. You're gonna have to call it the way you see it. And even if you're marked, it's better to be marked than to sit there and be a fool and go along with it. Plain and simple. You know, you should maintain your morals and your values. You should maintain them. Absolutely. Stand on it. Don't just take it lightly. Don't just say it's okay. The principles of Freemasonry and the obligation that you took, that you would walk the labyrinth of life with the sister, and the things that you said in regards to being with a brother. Don't take them lightly. There are some brothers and sisters who really and dearly hold that to their heart, man. And then when they see the principles and the foundation begin to crumble and be taken down by those who don't even care about the organization, but they are in it, it bothers them, just as it bothers me. So we have to be careful in how we're dealing and standing up for righteousness. See, I said this before. As you proceed into the various departments and degrees of Freemasonry, as you tend to go into the higher degrees, you're gonna learn some things. And you're gonna have to make some choices when you go through those portals, through those doors. You are, you know? And that's just the fact of the matter. You're gonna have to make some decisions.
I told you
in regards to, do you still want to be part of this fraternal order, this society? You know, it's gonna be totally up to you. Because what I see right now within Freemasonry is crumbling. You may not see it in your own jurisdiction, but take a step back and really take a look at it. It's falling apart. It's going to have to go underground in order to survive. And those of us who truly, legitimately take that obligation seriously, that's who's going to survive. That's who's going to survive. That's the truth. Those of us who take the obligation seriously are going to be the ones that survive. That's it. Everybody else will be for naught. You can go on about your business. Take me a little seat right here. It's a nice little walk. And that's the way it's going to come about, you know? Because you know as well as I know that your jurisdiction, all of these jurisdictions got some issues that they have to deal with because you let anybody in the organization. Anytime you begin to allow transsexuals, transgenders, and all other sorts of people to come into the organization, it's going to die. Hear me clearly. Anytime you begin to allow transgenders and other immoralities to come into your jurisdiction, it's going to die. It's going to fall down. Okay? And when I say immoralities, I mean just that. Things that are immoral. Your organization is not going to survive. It's going to crumble. It's going to fall. And this is what is happening. Because most jurisdictions want to follow. They want to follow everything that the Grand Lodge of England does. Most jurisdiction wants to fall in line with it. It's true. It's true. We have to be quick gatekeepers. Oh yeah. But I'm telling you the truth. Every jurisdiction wants to fall in line behind the Grand Lodge of England when you know that some of the things that they're doing and talking about is immoral. So define immoral. What does that look like? Immoral, to me, in my principles, and when I'm talking to me and what I've gathered in my life, is those things that goes against the will of nature. Those things are immoral. The things that, because nature is in line with this creator. Nature is in line with this creator. And anytime you go against nature, you are immoral. That's a fact. That is, go look at nature. And look how nature has an order about itself. Plain and simple. So anything that goes against nature is immoral. Now you can go look that up for yourselves. Go do your own lookup. Go do your own research. You know. And here in this country, it seems that everything is free for all. America is for sale. In case you don't know, it's for sale. If you got the money, you can buy it. You can buy it. If you have the money, go buy you some land. Go get that thing. Go get it. Because America is for sale. You indeed. Yes, indeed, brother. Thank you. So, go get that land. Buy that property. Because America is for sale. You know. But you have to understand how to move. It took me a minute. For me to understand some things. First, how to move in silence. You don't have to tell everybody everything you're doing. And I've heard that. I've often heard that said so many times. You don't have to tell everybody everything you're doing. You know, and sometimes it hit home and sometimes it doesn't. But when it does hit home, when it does hit your head, when it does wake you up, then and only then can you individually begin to assess and to see what's being said when they say you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing to move in silence. So for me, that is some things I've chose to do, is to move in silence. I don't have to tell everybody everything I'm doing in regards to my jurisdictions or some things that are coming up that's going to help me to prosper. because someone would throw a roadblock in your way. Someone would try to make you trip and fall along the way. This is why it's very important to truly only have a handful of friends. I mean, dedicated individuals to seeing you be successful. Hear me clearly. In your life, you must have some individuals who are dedicated to seeing you be successful. Now, I've found them people to be in my fraternal circle, to be in my lodge, to be in my chapter. I've found those legitimate people to be amongst those. I didn't say everybody. I said amongst those who are truly looking out for me to be successful and who would do and help me to be successful. So when I look at these principles, when I began to break them down and to see how they help to structure and make me and to help me to become better, then and only then can I see Freemasonry for what it is. Its principle concept, its construct, its statute. Because everybody is not going to be with you, even in your own jurisdiction. They're not. Especially if you have some principles about yourself. If you have some principles about yourself, everybody is not going to want to be with you because they feel that you should, do like everybody else does. If you got a grandmaster that's corrupt, who's taking money, and the secretary and treasurer is in agreement, and you find out and you stand up against it, some people are not going to like it. So you might as well get ready to fight. Yeah, I said that. Just like in any other organization, there are thieves in the temple. Hear me clearly, there are thieves in the temple. You have to be a better gatekeeper of your lodge, of your chapter, to make sure you hold those individuals accountable for the destruction of your chapter, of your lodge. You cannot allow people to come in with immoral values into your lodge, into your chapter. You can't do it. You can't do it. Anything that goes against nature is immoral. Period. Nature teaches you that. It does. Life teaches you that. And we all know that there are people and individuals in high places, that have more money than, we know the handful of people. We know these things. But you can't get caught slipping and sleeping. You have to start preparing yourself. Because there's going to come that time. And you all can feel it. We all know that something isn't quite right. Hear me clearly. We all know something isn't quite the same. Something is happening, and we all got this feeling about it. We just can't necessarily put our hands on it. We can't necessarily put our hands on it, but we all know something isn't right. You got this gut feeling that some shit is about to go down. You can't call it. You don't know when it's going to go down. So the best thing you can do is to prepare. I don't care how you prepare, but prepare. Be it a lot or be it a little. Forge relationships, strong, binding relationships. Everyone has something to offer to someone being successful or surviving. So forge those relationships. This is why Freemasonry is going to be important. This is why the Eastern Star is going to be important. The Elks Lodge is going to be important. The Odd Fellows are going to be important. But you're going to have to be careful even in that circle. You're going to have to forge that relationship, that bond that's going to tie you together. You're going to have to be real about it. You can't be phony about it. You're going to have to be Harry Matubnik about it. You know what I mean? You're going to have to be real about taking that solemn obligation and oath as many and brothers and fellows have done before you. When that time comes, there will be no more jurisdictions. When that time comes, and I don't know if I'm gonna be here to see it, there'll be no more jurisdictions. There ain't gonna be none of that. This guy just hopped in the wrong lane. I mean, literally the wrong lane. He hopped in a left turning lane. Oh my God. But anyway, let me get back, man. Let me get back. This is some strange things that happen. But I can tell you right now, most of us, in our spider senses, sense something is happening. We know something, we just can't put our fingers on it. But we know there's a transition coming. We know something is happening because people are waking up in the mindset and mind frame of saying something isn't right. And when you begin to say something isn't right, people are gonna call you crazy. People are gonna call you stupid, dumb. They're gonna try to thumb you down when you try to identify and say something isn't right. It's in you. See, this avatar right here, this is just for you to see and identify who I am. But what is inside of me, some call it a spirit and other names that they've given it. But that thing that's in me is truly who I am. So if that thing in me is doing something immoral, not according to man's law, but immoral according to God's law of nature and science. When I say nature and science, they go hand in hand. They prove each other. They prove each other. The ideal is that in science, you could commingle some of the data in science. You could commingle the data, you know, data says this, data says that. And that shit can be a lie. But in the natural order of things, because there's a natural order. And with the natural order have natural principles. That's why, once again, as I said before, they often tell you, do you believe in a supreme being? Yes, something higher than me. You know? Because I would tell you this. Every time a tragic happens in your life, I don't care how evil you are or how good you are, nobody wants to be caught up. No matter how good you are or how bad you are, no one wants to get caught up. But when you caught up, what happens is there's this thing that's in you. You begin to reach out to a higher source or a higher power. Whatever name you give it, whatever name you call it. It's been here since day one. It is inherently in your DNA. So once you get into what we call trouble, or you get caught up in a situation, you bow down to that source. God help me, please. I ain't gonna ever do this again. You bow down to that source. You recognize the source then, but while you're doing your thing, including me, it's all gravy until you get caught up. Now you want to recognize the source of power that dwells in you. It's been there all along. You've ignored it. You know, including me. Look, let me tell you something. When I have these conversations with you, this is about me too. You know, this is about me too. In the process of doing that, then I have the opportunity to correct myself. You know, to use those working tools that are handed to me and prescribed by the craftsman who worketh among the temple, to be able to use them to construct a more perfect temple, to change that rough asher to that perfect asher to fit in a house that is not made by hands. You'll catch that on the way home. You'll catch that on the way home. So when we look at this thing we call Freemasonry, we begin to break it down in its essence, in its form, in its principles. You can see it, how it is gradually falling, you know. Absolutely, they're all in all. You're right, we do have to be the light in darkness. That's why sometimes you have to become the light in the tunnel when it's dark. Hear me clearly, you have to become the light in a tunnel when it's dark. And most of us, our hearts are so dark, it can't even produce the light or energy to manifest itself. Because your heart is dark. Your heart is hardened. You know, you've allowed yourself to get caught up in an immoral society and begin to agree with everything. You know? Yeah, that's right. It's true. It's true. Because there are over, I'm gonna go up here. There are over, if I'm not mistaken, I may have lost count, but there are over like 200 different religions. There are over 200 different religions. There are religions that are older than Christianity, okay? Let's have some clarity on that. The book, the Bible, we know that it's been taken from other books and placed into that one book. There's so much information out here that it's just unreal to comprehend and how to put it all together. So you must understand, although I'm not a religious person, I'm not. Let's have that clarity. I go to the mosque, I go to the church, but I'm not a religious person. I'm a person that believes in God, period. A supreme high power. You can call him Jesus, Yahweh, whatever. That's how you connect. I connect with God, period. That's me, that's my walk. You know, the Ethiopians made the pyramids without hands. You know, that's a good subject for another day. But let's take a look at the variety of different occults and religions that are out here and the principles, because all of them have principles. All religions and cults have principles. That is a fact. You know, but when those principles and when those things begin to erode and be broken down, that organization ceases to exist, whether you like them or not. When those principles and morals that once held that organization together, when they no longer exist, it fails, it crumbles. And the church is that way right now. Oh yeah, I'm talking about my church. It's that way right now. Because they have lost their moral ground. When you lose your moral ground, you don't have a leg to stand on. When you lose your moral ground, you don't have a leg to stand on. And we can see this. Now, a lot of individuals are not going to agree with everything I'm saying, and I'm not asking you to. What I'm asking you to do is to wake up, smell the coffee, get involved, participate, because there are rules that are being made that we have no clue about. There are laws that are being made that we don't know anything about. We know that there are people in high places who are making rules and regulations to govern our lives we know nothing about. But we know that this is happening. This is why each one of us can sense that something is going on. We just can't put our hands on it. But we know it. And that's the thing about knowing that there's truly a God that exists. Because you're not going to be left without that it thing, you know, that sixth sense, that that gut, that's something that tells you something isn't quite right. Don't go in the room. You know what I mean? Something that tells you don't go that way. It's with you. It's born in you. Look, I call that the Superman effect. You may wonder, why you call it Superman effect? See, when Superman, when his father and his mom put him in that little spacecraft, and they injected him with every DNA of every person on that planet. He had every DNA of every person on that planet. So, boom, there you have it. Pyramid text, coffin text. You know. So when we look at this thing, you, my brothers of the craft, you, my sisters of the order, you who are watching this video right now, have every DNA of your ancestors that's in you. Yeah. You are the sum total. You are the sum total of all there is to get to where you're at right now. You are your mother, your father. You are your uncles, your aunts. You are your grandfather, your grandparents. You are your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, and your great-great-grandparents. When you are able to understand who you are and the principal foundation for which you actually stand on, all that craziness ceases to exist. It does. We got a little motorcycle crew passing by. All that craziness ceases to exist now. You know, I enjoy this thing we call Freemasonry because it has opened up a lot of different avenues for me. It really has. And in knowing that, I try to reciprocate that. I try to give that back to brothers of the order and sisters of the craft. I mean, brothers of the craft and sisters of the order. I try to give that back. And in the process of trying to give that back, I know along the way that I might get hurt, but I'm okay with that. Because I want the individuals who are in my circle, in my life, who are truly concerned about me, I want them to know that I'm truly concerned about them. This is why it's important to stand on your moral principles and your moral values. Because there are choices that you're going to have to make in life. The book of the coming forth of the by day. Thank you, I appreciate it. You're going to have to make some choices coming up soon. I don't know what year or when it's coming, but you're going to have to make some choices. And they're going to be some hard choices. Everybody is not going to be able to follow you. Some people are going to turn on you, but you're going to have to make some choices. That's a fact. And in the process of making those choices, the thing that we call Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, is going to go underground. Because those who claim to be Masons and Eastern Stars are not really that. They are not really who they claim to be. So you're going to have to do exactly as it says, by strict trial, due examination and lawful information, until you have found him or them as worthy and well qualified as you are yourself. You're going to have to actually stick to that principle. You're going to have to stick to it. And then you're going to have to really deliver the obligation under the penalty. You're going to have to deliver that. I'm just saying, you're going to have to deliver that when this thing go underground. And let me tell you, this won't be the first time. This won't be the first time. This will not be the first time that the thing that we call Freemasonry go underground. It will be the first time for the Order of the Eastern Star as we know it, but it won't be the first time for Freemasonry. There are many times that Freemasonry, the craft, has gone underground and has emerged as something else. The Essenes is another one. Go look up the Essenes, or the Essenes. I might be mispronouncing, but go look them up. Absolutely, we are our ancestors, you know, but a lot of us don't want to look at it. A lot of us are afraid to look at ourselves and say, well, damn, look at me. And then you look at the struggle in the life of your ancestors, and you look at the beautiful things that they've done, and you mean to tell me you can't accept yourself? Babylon's fault. Oh, no doubt about it. The principles and construct of Freemasonry in the society and church is slowly crumbling. You're going to really have to bear down and really get, oh, this sounds so far-fetched for a lot of people. They'd be like, oh, this guy right here is crazy, you know. But you know that there's something happening. You sense something isn't quite right. You sense it. You see the rules that they're making. You sense it. It's not a progress forward, it's a progress backwards. And if things go backwards in the progress, know your history. Know who you are. Oh, for sure. Things are not progressing forward. Things are progressing backwards, okay? And all you have to do is take a look around you. Just take a look around you, black man, black woman, it ain't progressing forward, it's progressing backwards. And what they're doing is they're allowing a few of us to come sit at the table, but you dare not speak. You're only here to listen. And once they get you at the table and you don't speak, you only listen, then you conform to what's going on without assisting or aiding the very people that look like you. And this happens to those well-off black people, individuals who look like me. They get to the table and then they conform, because they're at the table. They don't go and say, okay, let me invest in this and do this to bring this set of people up, because they've always been down. They've always been trampled on. Let me do something for how many I can touch and bring them up a little bit. And then just maybe they will be able to take that which I've given to them and pass it on. See? But what happens and what is happening is that they invite a few of us from the ghettos and the hoods. This is how they do it. So you get someone like these up and coming new rappers, and you give them all the money that they can get, and they're showing it all to you. But yet very few of them go back and bring out some of the warriors. We got some warriors in these ghettos, in these hoods. We got some warriors. I mean, some warriors. But what happens is that they get you out. They pull you out and they set you over here and say, look at him, he got out. He got out, why can't you get out? And then if he tries to go back and get someone, he gets cut off. Oh, you don't think so? You don't see how this game is being played. If you have to move very stealthily, and I would tell you somebody that did it very well. I'll tell you somebody that did it very well. If you go and look at how Prince, the artist, moved stealthily, you will find out about how he successfully helped other people single-handedly to get their masters back, to become financially independent, to do so much for themselves. You would see the philanthropy that he gave, the money he gave to various organizations, black organizations. Hear me clearly, But he couldn't tell everybody what he was doing. He couldn't. And I can't tell everybody the things I'm doing, because I'm very happy, and I'm gonna say even proud, to know of some of the things that I'm doing and people have allowed me in certain doors to do. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I'm proud in the sense that I'm like, wow, I am. And this is going to help me to help somebody else along the way, because when I get there, I can't just get there and be at the table and say, oh, okay, I'm here, I have arrived. I can't do that. If a door is open for me, I gotta put something in that door to keep it open for the next person. When I was a kid and I used to go to the movies and sneak in the movies, I would leave the door cracked, for a person that I knew was coming. They couldn't come with me, so I paid. I go in, I leave the door cracked. So when they come in, I give them my ticket, because that guy's already seen me in. Now he has a ticket. Y'all know how that works. And this is how it has to be in life. You can't get somewhere and close the door on someone, because those principles that got you there, someone who helped you got you there. You need to be able to repay and do the same. That is the only way everybody comes up. And I know that everybody don't want to come up. Some people love the ghettos. Some people love the hood. Oh, I'm from the hood, I'm from the ghetto. Okay, so you from the slime. You from the dumps. You like it? You like it. So you mean to tell me everybody that comes from the slums and from the hood like being there? And if they did, why didn't they go back and live in the same apartment, the same place? They didn't like it. That's why they left. They may have brought a couple of friends with them, but even when them friends got out of line and started messing with their money, they dropped their ass too. You see, when somebody brings you up and help you out of a situation a situation or circumstance, you cannot repay them by going back and doing the same shit. You can't do that. That's where the principles and morals come in at. That's where your obligation to that brother, your obligation to that sister, that's where it comes into play. This is what makes masonry, in my eyes, a great society. But yet, as I see this great society begin to crumble, although masonry and the Shriners may give a lot of money, be it the small group of Shriners or the Shriners Hospital or a small jurisdiction or the big ones, it doesn't matter. You give a lot of money. I get that. But if you're not willing to stand on your moral principles as an organization, if you're not willing to do that, all the money you gave is worth nothing. So you gave money. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to give money. I'm saying it's even better to stand on those principles so those individuals who are actually seeing you do the work that you do understand that there are some principles to that thing. There's some moral character about being a Mason.
But sister of the Order of the Eastern Star.
You know, you have to consider that. You have to consider that. And this is where we're at. Nature does not turn on itself. Nature does not turn on itself. It will turn on you. It won't turn on itself. This planet don't need us. We need it. So the principal moral characters of nature stands out and scream. It screams God. Some people are, well, show me God. Show you God. I don't have to prove God exists. God exists without me, period. The essence of who God is in the essence of who we are walking on this planet. You know, we have so much power if we unite as black conscious Masons. Oh man, they ain't ready for that. Let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna say they are not ready. Some of us are not ready for that. We're not. Because some of us have become so assimilated into this matrix until it's damn near impossible to go back and get them. That's the truth. Some of us have been so assimilated into the matrix until it's hard to go back and get them and say, look, this is where you need to be. And we got to go back and get some of the others. Everybody is not going to want to do that. Some people love the matrix so much they'll rather stay in it. They'll rather stay in it. So they would rather give in to the laws and rules and regulations of the matrix instead of standing on a moral principle of the natural divine God who created everything in you, that spark, that life. They would rather just give it all up. You know? Fuck that. I'd rather eat what I want to eat, not knowing that certain foods tears down the DNA structure, not knowing that some foods tear down who you are. They'll just eat and glut. Not knowing that you need to exercise, not knowing that you need to take care of this temple, this body. You know? So when something hit it, it is already prepared to protect itself. That's why it's so important to protect your immune system. All they want you to do is take the jab, get the jab, get it. But they're not telling you to exercise. They're not telling you to take care of yourself. They're not telling you to get some sun. They're not telling you to do anything to righteously protect yourself with your natural body and how it is built to do what it does. This thing here is a tank until you put a virus in the tank and corrupt the tank, you know. There is nothing on this planet that this thing can't handle. The only thing that this can't handle is shit that is created by man. And even then, this tank, this body, this avatar, it can come and be, and it can overcome that. It can overcome it. So once again, greetings to everybody who's coming on. Today, our topic is Babylon is Fallen. We're talking about the basic principles and structure of the Order of the Eastern Star and Freemasonry and how it is being totally destroyed by people or individuals who do not protect the organization. And when I say protect it, that means that you allow everybody to come in and partake at the table, and everybody is not worthy of coming in and partaking at the table. They're not. And this is what has even happened to our churches. Our churches no longer have a voice to where they can actually stand on it and get the people riled and motivated behind it. They don't. The church in the 60s, early 70s, and even into the 80s and early 90s was a voice to be reckoned with. It was a voice to be reckoned with. But the church has come to the table and decided to partake and got caught now. They can't leave the table. They can't leave the table. They can't leave it. Now, those who follow the churches, for the most part, they're caught up. You go to church now on Sundays, you got maybe 20, 50 people in there. But you go to the mega churches, you got maybe a couple of thousands in there. There's truly a difference. There's truly a difference between mega churches and church in general. There's truly a difference, you know. And you have to realize that, you know. That's why I said even for myself earlier, I can go to the mosque and I can go to the church. And it doesn't affect me either way. It enhances me. It enhances me because there are so many religions out here that are older in Islam, that are older than Christianity. And we know that. But yet we always want to take and throw the Bible at someone. The Bible has truth in it. I cannot deny that. The Quran has truth in it. I cannot deny that. I don't deny truth and facts. I don't. That's why I say nature don't turn on itself. You turn on nature. When you begin to do immoral things, not only to your body, but to this place where we live. And we cause it to be corrupted. And we cause it to deteriorate. We cause this planet to become sick. And when the planet becomes sick, it makes everything around it sick. I'm just giving you the facts. This is not something you can just say, well, no, no, check it out. This planet has everything you need on it to survive, and they keep telling you that the planet is overpopulated. It is not overpopulated. There are people who are just hogging the food and resources. Hear me clearly. This planet is not overpopulated. There are people who are hogging the resources, be it gold, be it natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Gold, silver, iron, be it those natural things that comes from earth. Those things are being hoarded. Just like you go to a restaurant, you see people pile food up on your plate. They hoard the damn food, and then when they leave, you like, well, damn, brother, you didn't. Damn. And you wondering, is there a food shortage? No, it's just a hogging of it. It's a hoarding of food. And those who control the food, those who control the waterways and ducks, they're the ones you better be watching. Oh yeah, this planet is not over. This planet can take care of everybody that's on it. But countries and those who are in leadership are hogging the resources. They're hogging it. And people have become greedy. You know, I was at home here recently, and I said this before as I was working out. I was like, wow, you know, it was a lot of food that I had on my plate. I was like, this is a lot. I couldn't eat it all. I said, pack this up, I'm taking this home. I eat this tomorrow. I had to go work out because every time I ate, I fell out. I went to sleep. Every time I ate, I went to sleep. I mean, it was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's a lot of damn food. See, the natural principles and the natural order of things is not for you to gloat. Gold and silver, thank you. Natural resources, I appreciate it. You know. These are some things we really should start considering. Hey, people can say whatever they want to say. People can go wherever they want to go. But please take a look around. For a minute, just get out, take a walk, take a look around. Something is happening. We just can't put our hands on it, but I can guarantee you this. As long as I breathe right now, I am seeing a reset of things. You know, that's what I'm seeing. You may say, well, what do you mean a reset? I'm telling you, things are reverting back to its natural order. You catch that on the way home. Things are reverting back to its natural order. Plain and simple. And it's going to be some hard times. It's going to be some hard times. And I'm not saying that I'm all prepared for it and I got water and all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's going to be some hard times and we're going to have to learn how to barter. We're going to have to learn how to assimilate in a fashion that's going to benefit the craft, is going to benefit the order, it's going to benefit the true essence of Freemasonry and the principles for which you stand on. And you're going to have to really hold fast to what you say as far as till I found him or them. You're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to hold a person to. Do you really think? Let's be real. For those of us who have taken these oaths and obligations, are you ready to do that? Are you? Are you really ready to do the thing you said that you would do? I'm just asking. Inquiring minds wants to know. Now, I won't say that none of us are. I won't say that because I think some of us would get a kick out of that. I'm just saying, for the most part, for those who have come into this organization, this society, are you really ready to do the things that you say that you would do? That's a legitimate question. And I don't think many of us are. Hell, I have to even question myself. I do. So when I see the principles of Freemasonry is crumbling, when I see the natural order of things is beginning to reset, man, that's just me. I don't know. You may see something different, but I'm sharing with you what I'm seeing for myself before my very eyes. I'm seeing that the progress that we made in this country as black people is being rolled back. I'm seeing that take place. I'm seeing so many different things that are happening until it's really unreal. But I'm seeing it in my lifetime, and that's the real thing. That's the catalyst behind. I'm seeing this in my own lifetime. My kids now and my grandkids are going to probably see something that they would never have believed. But it would be in reverse as far as what I'm actually seeing now. I'm just saying. So look, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I appreciate everyone coming on and sharing this moment, this opportunity with me. I just need you for a moment to think about it. You know, the principles of Freemasonry. Babylon is falling. Until next time, peace and be well. Yeah, for real though. Remember, I am not your study guide. I'm here to help you study. Keep your light on, stay out the bushes. I'm out. Peace. Wait, hold on. The unnatural man is destroyed by the plant. That's real talk. Boy, I can stay on this thing for a minute. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Yeah, the real money is silver and gold. Absolutely. You know, speaking of the real money being silver and gold, that's why Gaddafi was killed. People can say whatever they want to say about Gaddafi, but he spoke quick. He spoke too soon about what he wanted to do within the confines of Africa. And they could not allow Africa to rise up. The European Economic Summit could not allow Africa to unite. They could not allow Africa to rise up. They can't afford it. So when Gaddafi said, hey, we got gold, we got resources, we don't want your paper dollar no more. America and its allies said, oh, hell no, they're about to flip this on us now. We dropping bombs, baby. He shouldn't have said it so quickly. He just should have gradually kind of moved stealthily having it. That's what he should have did, but, you know, and now that they have found, I think, 1 ton of gold. They have found a ton of gold over in some parts of Africa. And the craziest thing about the fact that they found a ton of gold is now that country is kicking out everybody else. If you're not a citizen of the country, they're kicking you out. When I'm saying a citizen, if you're not black, they're kicking you out of the country. They found a ton of gold. And some of you probably know what I'm talking about as far as what country over in Africa found that ton of gold. And America is on its way. We're here. Can we help you? Hell no. You weren't helping us when we were starving, dying of famine, and oh, now you want to come help us because we got gold? Oh, no, 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 no. You gotta do a little bit better than that. You gotta do a little bit better than that. So that's definitely happened. That's for sure. In the mere fact that we sense things that are happening, the brother said, let's just build and forget. Oh yeah. That's why I said earlier, I'm gonna say this. There are spies in Freemasonry. I'm gonna say it again. There are spies in Freemasonry. And that was for another show, but since I'm on here and I ain't decided to log off yet, I'm gonna say this. Be careful. Because there are individuals who were sent to your lodge, big or small, to see what you're doing. And if you become too organized, if you become too involved, if you become too much of anything, they will shut your ass down. There are spies in Freemasonry. I don't care how big your lodge is or how small your lodge is. There are spies that were sent there to watch you, to pay attention, because there are some lodges that are small, but they're doing so much in their area, okay? There are lodges that are big and ain't doing a damn thing in the area. There are some lodges that have a few members and they're doing a lot. So this is what's happening. There are spies among us. It is. It is true. Ask some of the brothers of the craft. Ask the Nation of Islam. Ask some of these churches. There are spies. They come, they spy. They become members of your organization. They spy on you. They want to make sure that you're docile. They want to make sure that you don't rise up. They want to make sure that you stay in your lane, stay in your place, and don't do no more that you've ever done. They don't want you to unite. They don't want you to agree to disagree. They don't want shit from you but to stay in your place. But when you begin to build bridges, when you begin to go beyond your own borders and reach over into other countries and to identify and to help raise up and to build up, you are going to become a problem. And when you become that problem, they're going to come at you. So you might as well prepare yourself. If you're any type of leader or any type of organization, you know exactly what I'm saying. If you're going to build with someone other than where you're at, and you're really true about that work, they're gonna come at you. Oh, trust me, I already know. And I'll leave it at that. That's a fact. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down right now. London Bridge is falling. You know what? You say that, and I'm here at London Square. For real. So look, everybody, I thank you. I appreciate you. Please hit the like button, the like button. And to those brothers of the craft and those sisters of the order, if you ever find yourself in a situation, you know what? You know exactly what to do. I'm going to leave it right there. Peace and be well. I'm out.